Alright, term 7, let's go. So, we're not going to reshuffle the cabinet, it reshuffles itself regularly. Crime has increased this term. Poverty has stayed around the same, education, health, GDP still matched, and employment is rising though. Policy reversal on the DEA has affected trustworthiness. We decided to bring them back, so the problems with drugs we were having. Changes to armed police so close to the election made voters cynical, but it is decreasing crime and violent crime, so hopefully we start seeing that filter through. National team exits the World Cup. We've exited the World Cup like so many times now I can't remember. Maybe one day we will win it. Maybe during this term of Parliament. Term 7 we're on now. Internet crime is now a thing. Okay, cyberbullying awareness is having a negative effect on intelligence services, but there's literally there's not an awful lot due to decrease. That's been high for a while. We need to try and focus on that. Budget's in good state. The global economy's alright. We're popular, and hospital overcrowding is starting to become a thing. Right, so surplus is still paying down the debt nicely, which is good. We do need to try and get a grip on internet crime. Internet crime, law and order. We're struggling here, aren't we, a little bit? With anything to do with internet censorship would reduce internet crime, but that's kind of going against freedom, isn't it? Public services. What can we do? Some of the things are still taking effect, but bureaucracy, not really managed to make movement on. Hospital overcrowding though. Could start spending some of this surplus, couldn't we, on the state health service, which would help tackle drug addiction as well. If we spend another, it's nearly another 10 billion on the state health service, the poor will like it, health will improve, unemployment will go down. Do you know what? Private healthcare will be all but obliterated. Drug addiction, will drop. Let's go for excellent health provision. Let's spend a lot of money and let's see where that leaves us. Violent video games. Concerns about the impact of murder simulators. Links to violent crime. Proposal to ban the games or restrict sale of the others to over 18-year-olds. Censor games. There's maybe no direct proven link, but play many of these games, impression young people. Video games for interactive medium and like to have direct impression. Something needs to be done. Leave unchanged. There's no links. A knee-jerk reaction. Add warning labels. Ban step too far. It's important parents have access to information to just specific gamers for the children's system. Warn about content or websites selling games would be sufficient. Let's add warning labels. Parents are happy, youth less so. Hospital overcrowding is a thing now, but we have implemented change in the healthcare service to hopefully address that. We're still very popular. We're spending half our budget surplus now. Now our cabinet is fanatical. We've not had a resignation for a while. Touch wood. Hopefully, I've not just jinxed that there. State health services now the top level of expenditure. Debt continues to go down. The debt interest we're paying nearly $1 billion less now. Right. Internet tax isn't very popular, but would send internet crime down and could raise us quite a bit of money. As we move online, hey, that could be a reason to. Technology is firmly at the top. Hopefully it wouldn't have too much of an impact and give us more money to spend on public services. We're going to go with it. If it's at 38%, internet crime drops quite a bit, crypto adoption drops, GDP drops a bit, technology drops quite a bit. But can it be balanced out by everything else? Let's leave it at 38% for now and see where we're at. Ban animal testing, definitely, we don't need it. 97% among voters, we got nearly 250,000 new activists in a quarter. Global economy's in deep recession, we've got a surplus of 11.23 billion. That internet tax is funding quite a bit now. Debt continues to drop, which is good. Reducing what we're spending on debt interest, amazing. Look at tax, cryptocurrency taxation. People don't like it in general, but again, as money moves towards crypto, we need to make sure it's not a way of escaping income tax, because we need to reduce tax for all. Reduces the income of everyone trading in cryptocurrencies. Let's go for it. 38%. People don't necessarily like it. Cryptocurrency adoption is affected. Income tax is currently at 55%. So it would seem we can't set it below that, to be fair. If we set it at 60%, capitalist liberals aren't happy. Self-employed, cryptocurrency adoption goes down though. Maybe helps us reduce internet crime. So let's go with that and see where we're at. Cryptocurrency crash. Again, this is causing us problems. Crypto crashes. It's affected the adoption even more, which is plummeting thanks to the changes we've made. Anyway. Budget 15.52 billion surplus. GDP's been hammered, global economy's down, but we're still managing to keep it up. Polls are at 97%. Fanatical supporters. Debt is dropping faster than ever before. Surplus is even bigger than before, despite the fact we're massively increasing health expenditure, which is amazing. UBI there is still fighting away. Debt dropping. So, we've got 32 political capital. Punitive wealth tax would increase socialism. There is nothing wrong with wealth as such, but inequality in our society is bad enough that we must be seen to be doing something to ensure that the highest levels of income bear the share of the cost of maintaining a healthy society. It's entirely reasonable to set a tax rate that takes away the majority of income above extremely high levels. This is what the UK used to have in like the 60s and 70s, I think. So as this money is so much more appreciated by those on lower incomes, could be a way of funding UBI further as well, and discourage unfair practices. Let's go. We don't want to increase too much tax too fast though and cause a problem in the country, so charity reduces, high earnings don't like it, socialism increases, the wealthy don't like it, it's not very popular with voters. Let's leave it at 38%, 2.59 billion in income. This isn't helping with bureaucracy, but hopefully it doesn't start scaring people off. Gender neutral restrooms, absolutely. Boost the Liberals. Cyclones, situation imminent if we don't act soon because of the average temperature rise. Punitive wealth tax, voters are cynical. Got 14.11 billion surplus. Global economy's in recession, we're still very popular. Are we scaring people off though? With our punitive wealth taxes. Internet crime, we've nearly got it down to a low trigger. Bureaucracy's on its way up though again. Drug addiction, we're managing to combat that. Unemployment is contributing to it. Universal basic income. paying down debt an awful lot. I mean, ultimately, if we spent way more on it, we're raising everybody up, but we're just not really there yet. If we can keep on paying down the debt, we're in a better place. Let's see where we go with this. Public smoking ban. Leave law unchanged. Liberals are happier. National highways seems like a good investment, but they're worried about the homes. Don't worry, we've got planning laws. Still very popular. Global economy's in deep recession, but we have still got 13.36 billion. Although we are starting taking a hit on relative GDP now. $44 now. Transport. Law and order. Don't really want to add more bureaucracy. Look, carbon tax would now get us no income because, frankly, CO2 emissions are gone. We've decarbonised. Given that we have decarbonised, are there any policies we don't really need anymore? Oil demand's at nothing, so we don't need to suppress that anymore. CO2 emissions are at nothing. Biofuel subsidies are forcing the food price upwards. Food is almost free. See if we can get away without having biofuel subsidies anymore, even though it's really popular. Free bus passes are very popular, but it does contribute to the generational wealth gap. We have been bringing it down. Do we need it? It is very popular. Just cancel it. Cycling campaign isn't very popular, but it improves health, so it might be worth keeping. Clean fuel subsidy. It's helping the environment. Subsidised school buses. Satellite road pricing is at the max. Limit of ban cars, we definitely want to keep that in cities. Car emissions limits is compressing now our non-existent emissions, which go fuel efficiency standards. Do we still need them? Our oil demand is next to nothing. Our CO2 emissions are next to nothing. Don't want to scrap too much at once. Organic farming subsidy is not popular, but it sends the price of food down. But do we need to fund it anymore with public money? Might be able to see if we can cancel that next term. Next turn. Housing market boom. It's increasing the wealth gap though. 14.18 billion extra in the budget. 93% popular. Global economy's in deep recession now. Our debt continues to go down, which is forcing down debt interest now. We now spend more on the military than debt, which is good. Income. Alright, do we need clean energy subsidies? I think so still. We can't get rid of everything. Agriculture subsidies though. Tackles unemployment, which is stubbornly high because of automation. Diversity quotas for companies was relatively recent. Pollution controls, which really helping the environment. Rural development. Organic farming subsidy. It's not very popular with voters. Do we really need to fund it anymore? Health's at the top as well. Could try getting rid of it. If everything's now naturally organic, you don't have to fund things forever, do you? Smart meter program. Energy efficiency again is massively high. Everyone must have a smart meter by now. We've had it in place for well over a decade. It's very popular, but let's see if we just don't need it anymore, because it's done. Vertical farm subsidies. It's reducing unemployment, which is still a big focus. Maternity leave, foreign investor tax breaks. Foreign investment is at 100%. Foreign relations is pretty high, it's probably a reason to keep it. Energy efficiency. CO2 emissions continue to be at the bottom. Improves our energy efficiency, which is maxed out. Do we need regulations if it's just become a standard? It's not popular with the voters. Let's try and go with it and cancel it and see where we're at. School sponsorship. Large corporation wants to invest in schools, everything from free school books to entire sports centres, some branding and promotional opportunities. I mean, kids are surrounded by advertising anyway, so if it boosts their education, why not? Cyclones are on the way. I mean, the biggest cause of average temperature rise is global CO2 emissions, which is the year, because the global economy is in recession now. It's actually helping stave it off for us. 14.12 billion in the budget, 93% popularity. This is working out alright at the moment, this. Getting rid of regulations that we don't need. Consumer rights still important. Mandatory micro generation. Agriculture. Charity tax relief doesn't cost us anything anymore. Policy designed to encourage the wealthy or anybody who pays tax to donate to charity by deducting some of their charitable donations from the income when calculating various taxes. UBI has pretty much been in now for well over a decade at some level, and basically charity in terms of money doesn't really exist anymore. It's in time only, so it's not costing us anything, not making us anything, so we can get rid of it. It's immensely popular, but what's the point? It's not doing anything. Capital gains tax, still funding things. Corporation tax is still a biggie. Car tax, I mean car usage is at 68%. Health food subsidies, lowering food price, which is basically nothing anyway. Increasing health, which is basically at the top. Do we need to subsidise fruit and vegetables if they're so accessible now? Possibly not. It's just become the way of life. We've managed to convince people of the change. So they're doing it by themselves. Junk food tax. Boosting everyone's health. We don't want to change too much at the moment. Crypto taxation. Don't want to change that so close after introducing it, do we really? Diverted profits we still need. Corporation tax. Income tax, 64%. Middle incomers hate it, but it is our main source of income at the moment. Microgeneration grants. Really popular. The environment is seeing a massive boost at the moment. Recreational drugs tax is at the maximum. Try and get that back under control. Tobacco tax again. Right, regulate social media. I want to go more liberal again. It's not popular at all with the voters. Let's see if getting rid of this we can still not end up with an addiction situation, shall we? We don't have to regulate, we don't want to. Compulsory water meters are helping the environment still, so we want to keep that in place. Youth Politics Council. very popular with everybody. Stem cell research, important for health. University grants, helping with education. State health services at the absolute maximum. And of course we want to keep it. There's no selection in schooling anymore. Science funding maxed. Healthy eating campaign. Do we need it anymore? People know how to eat now. Only 50% popular, let's get rid of it. Free parenting classes, secularity of education, abortion law. Yeah, let's go. Ban livestock imports. Last time we didn't. But we don't want to have a situation where it causes problems, so... Internet crime, internet crime in our country have fallen dramatically, no longer a major concern. Yes. Social media addiction is now back. Great. Great. Angry car salesman. Deep recession, but we've got 15 billion surplus a quarter still, so it's still attacking the debt. Debt interest is going down still. Very nice, very nice. Citizenship for sale. People still really want that, don't they? Well, this is going to be a flip-flop. They are going to absolutely annihilate us for this, aren't they? Maybe we can tackle it another way. Internet tax. Things are going online. If we raise it too much, it could be damaging, but it's not really all that popular. But we are now the tech hub, so I'm pretty sure we could do this, you know, without too much ill effect. Even taking those other things into account. Let's go from 38% to 56%, getting nearly an extra 2 billion in. Spreading the tax base a bit. Already hiked that as much as possible. Crypto tax. Could put that up to 75%, get us an extra $500 million. Liberalism don't like it. It'll affect crypto adoption, which is funding our social media addiction. It's radical, but maybe it's going to help. See where that leaves us. Russian ships again. They're always doing that. Social media addiction is happening. Might have to regulate it anyway if we can't do it. Oh, tax evasion. Oh dear. Ooh. He's getting close. We don't want that to start happening. Budget surplus 26.73 billion a quarter. We're still very popular, and we're still record surplus, even though we've got record even though the global economy is absolutely down in the doldrums. We've literally insulated ourselves. We've recovered back. We dip later than the rest, and dip less further than the global economy, and we dip for a less amount of time, which is great. UBI. We do want to massively turbocharge that at some point. Social media addiction. Youth club subsidies are already at the maximum. Internet tax is having a negative effect on that. We're going to need to regulate it again, aren't we? There's no way around it that I can think of at the moment. We have to go back to a total ban, and then rather than scrapping it, just make it less. We tried. We tried. Firearm laws. No, let's not change them. Don't want to encourage crime. Prisoner voting, we've got a max. Speed cameras. Make a little, but it all adds up. Oh, do you know what? Anti-corruption agency, would that help? Public services, I think. No, law and order, sorry. We can't do it yet. Might be worth having a look at. Let's see where this leaves us. Hackers breaching critical systems. Power plants and banking. The group admitted the hack. Now on high demand. Let's hire them. Voters have noticed your U-turn on regulate social media. It's affecting trustworthiness. Cyclones are imminent. But it seems it is dropping ever so slightly. 28.32 billion surplus. 89% of the vote still. Global economy's in recession. But look at that debt. That debt is going down and down. That's exactly what we want. Now, the anti-corruption agency is not popular. Corruption's next to nothing now. So it kind of feels unnecessary at the same time. Bureaucracy, where are we at with bureaucracy? We're lowering it, but we can't really get rid of it. Hospital overcrowding is getting better. Healthcare demand. It's been fueled by an awful lot of different things. Drug treatment schemes. Drug addiction. It's getting better. It peaked at 74%, 54%. Unemployment is a cause. If we funnel some more of this money into UBI, it doesn't really affect unemployment. Compulsory work for the unemployed. Will squeeze unemployment, but it's a retrograde step, isn't it? I would say. Carbon tax nearly makes us 3 million because they're so decarbonised. How else? Think. Bureaucracy. Food stamps. We've literally chopped loads off welfare, haven't we? With UBI, it's made that all easier. Nuclear weapons are now 0% popular with the voters. And we're already maxed out as a strong leader. It is helping drive technology, but pretty much at the top. Environmentalists aren't happy, patriots are happier with that. We could cancel it. Refugee policy. War zones and disaster. Fleeing persecution. No checks. No checks would make us more compassionate, increase foreign relations. What's before fleeing persecution? Most countries accept they have moral responsibility for taking migrants from disaster or wartime countries, but strong debate on how loose these restriction limits should be, especially if climate change and other factors lead to a large rise in global refugees. Well, if it does, we can address that, can't we? But it's going to cost us about 100 million. Bigger tax base. Tourism ad campaign. Immigration rules. Open borders, a bit like what they do in Schengen. Improves foreign relations, ethnic minority liberal, reduces patriotism. Let's go with it. Let's go with it. Military spending is still very low. Diplomatic service on full funding. Citizenship tests. If we max that out as we open the borders, patriotism increases, racial tension decreases massively, patriotism membership goes up, immigration demand will drop massively. It will make things better in the country overall, won't cost a lot. Let's do this. Border controls, passport checks, biometric checks. Random passport checks. Yeah, let's leave that where it is. Let's leave that where it is. There's nothing else really we can cancel, is there? Don't think. Or nothing else, should I say, that we want to cancel. Stamp out racism week. Racial tension is at 0. So do we need it a week now? Maybe not. We can have a look at that next time, when we've got some more political capital. Cyberbullying awareness, people are very happy with that. Art subsidies, adult education subsidies, secularity of education, it's secular. Right, let's go. Condemn far left dictator. Tate's been rounding up opponents in the reports of public executions. Well, we have got to condemn him. Of course we have to. Whichever side the political spectrum on. Social media use has thankfully dropped to more reasonable levels. Junk food tax, people still complaining about it decades later. Budget 28.21 surplus. 89% popularity. Debt continues to tumble. This is good. This is good. Executive term limit. Climate Change Adoption Fund. That is... Oh, the cost of it is going down though, the more we do on climate change, which is good. What's this? Food Standards Agency. Pretty popular with the voters. Compulsory school sports. Not popular at all with the voters. Health is at 100%. It's a very small gain. Save a little bit of cash. Fully fledged sports classes, not popular. Let's can it then. If it's not popular, let's see if we can do without it. Youth club subsidies, very popular though. CO2 campaign. Emissions are 0 anyway. Let's get rid of it if we don't need it. Save ourselves the money. Compulsory language classes. There's possibly not a lot more to do here. Keep the country tidy campaign. Oh, the environment is dropping off, probably because those policies we've scrapped. Overall, it's still in a better state. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see where we're at with that. Argentina keeps on planting flags. Tax evasion is imminent, at least it's not spiking a lot. 28.86 billion surplus this quarter, which is great. 89% of the vote. Global economy's in recession. Again. We want to keep on to a good thing with this debt reduction. Let's keep on paying down the debt. Why wouldn't we? Food stamps, due to the reduction in poverty, isn't costing a lot anymore. Poverty, all but eliminated. Let's keep going. Fishing quotas to help the environment, yeah. 29.78 billion. Cyclones are on the way, but it doesn't look like they're getting any higher. 88% of the vote. Unemployment is rising. That is due to increased automation. I want to keep hammering down that debt interest, only 2.6% now. What happens if we just keep on going? Let's keep on going down this path. Obesity is imminent. Wow. We don't want that to rise any further, that's for sure. Family bicycle business import tariffs not happy with 29.58 billion, 88%. We've got 151,000 more people signed up. Debt is now tumbling. 60% ratio. I'm not sure we ever had that before in living memory. UBI, after all these years, still isn't as popular as you would think it might be. Which is, I guess, a bit surprising. Let's keep going. Tempted not to change this exchange spouse scandal. Surely we will be divorced by now. It's the fourth one, I think. Tax evasion. Oh, we're kind of teetering on the edge of that. We can't tax anymore. Budget surplus 29.58 billion. 86% of our popularity is dropping. But look at that. We're paying off the debt massively. Surely that makes people happy. Surely. Just give it more money to spend on things like the health service. Corruption. Corruption is still at 0. That's good. Let's keep going with this. Tender gay wedding, of course. Obesity. Obesity's a problem. 83%, we are dropping big time on that. 30 billion now in surplus. Is it popular to keep on paying down that debt? The longer we can hold out with that, the better chance we have of investing in things that we want. Let's try and keep going. Disguised employment law. Yep, disguised employment it is. Help the poor out. Campaign speeches. Let's speak to the farmers. Let's speak. Let's speak to wealthy are already really unhappy with us. Let's speak to the poor. Let's speak to the Conservatives. Let's speak to the young people. This is okay. Slightly nervous. Oh! Really? Oh, dearie me. Okay, disaster. Let's probably not speak to the public. Surplus. Great. The debt is still coming down. big time. Popularity is waning a bit. But I think we can ride this out and keep paying down the debt. It's going to do us well, that. Dubious role model. Praise the notorious extreme dictator. Why? Why do they always do this run up to election as well? Campaign speeches. Commuters. Young people. Oh no, maybe we should speak to the retired. No, young people. State employees. The trade unionists. Ugh. That's a turnaround. Maybe speaking to the public isn't such a bad thing. Woohoo! That's amazing. That turned around. That surplus is still hammering away on the debt. Look at where we've come from. That is amazing. Let's keep going. There's nothing for us to think about. Climate change protocol. Need to reduce greenhouse gas emission. Yeah, let's ratify it. Manifesto promises. Campaign speeches. Environmentalists. Yes, let's speak to them. Let's speak to the Conservatives. Let's speak to the state employees. Let's speak to the capitalists. Woohoo! This is good. This is good. All in the positive. Woohoo! Yeah, that was good again overall. After our disastrous first speech, we've certainly pulled that around. Fab. Surplus is above 30 billion still. Global economy's picking up. This is good. Look at that. The global economy dipped massively and we just have a little dip and come back up a lot faster, which is good. Reserves. The day we see reserves will be amazing. Debt, though, is falling like a stone, so that means debt interest is falling still. It's amazing. Oh, right, election time. We've not done many major changes in the second half of the term. Let's see if we're punished for that, because we usually do a lot of tinkering towards the end of the term, but paying off the debt has been a big thing for us. But as even though national debt has, you know what, reduced by over a third, I think, will we get any credit for it? So we've got a massive spending boost, activist boost. Let's see if it translates into votes. Oh, this is looking amazing again. Is it better than last time though? That is the question. Not as good as last time. I think we were heading towards kind of dictatorship style territory. Well, 81% of the vote. It's as good as the term before last, and we've won an 8th term now, which is amazing. The United Left are resurgent again. New Right is similar to where they are. Smaller parties almost wiped out again. Non-voters, we still retain the majority of supporters in non-voters, but non-voters are going up again. But this could be a bit of voter apathy, thinking what is the point? The last 8 elections have been the New Left. Retired and not liking us anywhere near as much. The wealthy have really turned on us this time. Conservatives aren't getting happier, but 65% of the population as a whole still support us. Particularly the poor now. Poor are back on side. We were down to 30% last time, we're up to 97%, but they're sacrificing some of the socialist voters, some of the capitalist voters. But patriots, for the first time, are kind of really high, really supportive, and religious groups are starting to return to us, so it's not all bad. Legal drug consumption has fallen back a bit. Many things are very similar to what they were last time, so not any major changes here. It's like life as it was. Gender equality continues to increase. Generational wealth gaps continues to decrease. Now a quarter, up from a fifth. foreign relations and investment are being boosted. Working week has got slightly longer again. Charity is plummeting though. Crime down, democracy up again. Average temperatures increasing because the years are increasing. Inflation has been brought down this term, which is good. Population slightly up. This is all looking pretty good. Mental health is still in decline, so we do need to try and look at that. Crypto adoption has fallen right back down following our taxation of it. Our fanatical supporter Courtney Lopez is back up there, 100% approval. 34% though, we are getting a bit more polarised. There are many people now, particularly those with disabilities it looks like, and some students and retired people where they are really starting to disapprove of us. 34% approval only. And on the political compass, for our 140th turn, we have continued the journey back towards away from capitalism whilst maintaining liberalism. So it's interesting to see how as we move away from capitalism, things are changing in the country. So another term. Term 8 is coming up soon, so don't forget to like on the video and subscribe for more democracy videos. I'll see you soon.